Hello everyone, and welcome to A Traveling Knitter. I'm your host, Steph, and this is chapter 46. It is September 13th. It is Friday the 13th, and it is the Harvest Moon. I believe that's what it's called. I have a video game for my DS called Harvest Moon, so that's why I'm like, is that what it's called, or is that just what the video game is? I never beat that video game. I play it every now and then because it's one of those repetitive simulation games. Like, I can spend an hour on just picking up rocks and turning them into stone and then selling them. But look, this is besides the point. But yeah, so I've got a nice little candle. Speaking of the candle, it's hot. Let me bring this over. So this is Ashland Apple Hibiscus. I think this is Walmart brand. It's not a good candle. Like, from here, I can barely smell it. I have to be here. I have to be over it to be able to smell it. That's why the candle is so close. I had it on a shelf over here. Could not smell it at all. So even though this candle is significantly less expensive than like full price Bath and Body Works candles, I don't think I will ever purchase an Ashland brand candle again, because this is garbage. I'm thinking this is Walmart. If it's not, it's Aldi, because I know Aldi, oh, there's some wax. Aldi had a couple candles, and I don't remember if I actually bought any, but yeah, not good. And I also took a gamble on the scent. I guess it is kind of like a summery scent. But yeah, okay, so welcome to the podcast. It's a knitting podcast. It's not a candle and video game podcast, though we are going to be talking about video games. Let's just jump right in. So for completed quests, we actually have something, and it's not anything that you've seen before. It's this hat, which I know the ends are not woven in, but I'm gonna call it finished. My plan is I'm gonna make a bunch of these hats and then weave in all the ends at the same time. Now, you may, looking at this, you may go, wow, that's a giant hat. You would be correct. It is way bigger than my face. Now, this is the Helix hat by Jessica Rose, and it is a free pattern on Ravelry, and I was inspired by Amber of the Yarn Hoarder podcast. She made a whole bunch of these out of scraps, which is exactly what I'm doing. So this is Red Heart, and the tealy color is Red Heart. Is it Red Heart? No, I love this yarn. Hobby Lobby, you can tell. The black is Red Heart. I'm just reaching down to touch them. So I decided I really want to whittle down a lot of this acrylic yarn that I have, that I bought many years ago, because acrylic yarn is just what you can get, and I have a hard time controlling myself when I go to Michael's and Walmart and stuff. So yeah, I have a lot of it with zero purpose. So I really want to just make some hats to use them up. So I followed the pattern, and the pattern said to use sizes US size 6 and US size 8. I believe is what, pretty sure? Yeah. And it said it was using worsted, which I had assumed that's what those are. But I'm going to say it's a light worsted because, well, I mean, this is huge. Like, it's absolutely massive. I'll put it on for you. So you can wear it as a slouchy hat, but that's not what this hat was for. See, like, it looks kind of cute, but I mean, this has no substance. Like, I don't know. I mean, it does look cute. It does look cute. I think it looks cuter because my hair is slightly disheveled. I don't know. I think like slightly curly hair, poofy hair just looks like nice in a hat. But yeah, it's massive. But I figured there's probably someone who has a lot of hair or a massive hat or something, or they want to wear two hats because it's cold. Because what I'm gonna end up doing is donating all the hats that I make with all my scrap yarn. One of the ladies in my knitting group, she does like a hat drive, or at least she did one last year. I think she just called it like a hat challenge to see how many hats she could make with her leftover yarn. And I'm gonna join too. So this is one hat. I think I have 3 that I'm gonna donate. I just went through my like stock of hats that I've made throughout the years, and there's a couple that I thought I would just give away. So this is another one, and I mean, even folded, it looks so big. So that's my completed quest. Gosh, I think I finished this in maybe 6 hours, so this was super fast. And then I immediately casted on another one, so this leads us into current quests. So yeah, I immediately cast another one on, and I dropped down the needle sizes. So I think I'm at a 4, or I'm at a 5? I'm at a 5. So my plan, so I'm gonna knit these on a 5 and then bump to a 7. And then if it's still too big, I will go to a 4 and then a 6. So I'm just gonna, keep making hats. I'm not gonna rip any of it out. And I'm going to use the exact same colors, but instead of the light blue as the brim, I'm going to do the tealy color. I have quite a lot of this yarn because, again, it's, this one is not a full skein of Red Heart. This one I actually made an amigurumi airplane for my mom's old work. She used to work at a local airport, so I made a little amigurumi for it's like a display case. So this is the leftover from that, and I think I also made a dolphin, and the dolphin was like a gift. I think it was like a teacher gift for my little brother, one of the teachers. I don't know, but this has been used for specific things 2 times, and I still have all of this left over. So I thought, why not, start making hats with it? So what I ended up actually doing was I printed off a bunch of really simple hat patterns, and I'm just going to make a whole bunch of those patterns. So the first one being the helix hat. I'm not sure, I think I'm gonna do 3 helix hats. So each brim, so I'll do the teal and then I'll do a black brim. And then hopefully I'll have gone down on this, and then I will probably jump to a different pattern with whatever I have left over. I have a whole pile of yarn that you actually can't see. I went through some of my acrylic yarn. So this shelf here is mainly indie dyed yarn and just more expensive yarn, and then I have 2 of those big plastic tubs. I don't know how many quarts it is, but it's the big ones. Oh, I have 2 of those, which I'm proud that I only have 2 because I used to have 3, but I have managed to knit enough that it's down to 2, and then I have like a pile on top. So I guess technically it's 3, but it's not like a full 3. You don't care that much. But my goal is to get through some of this stuff. And of course, still knit for myself, still get through my Make 9. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the helix hat. I think it's a really great way to knit through your stash. And I guess I didn't really explain it, but the helix hat, you knit with 3 colors, and you're helical knitting. So you don't have to, you're only gonna weave in 6 ends, which is pretty awesome because clearly I hate weaving in ends. It's not that I hate it, I just, I just don't want to do it. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. You don't have extra ends to knit. So highly recommend it. The needles that I'm knitting these on, I think I've talked about them before. They were an Amazon purchase when I was in college, my freshman year of college, so they're like super stiff. I think I got, it was like $20 to get sizes, US size 1 through 15. And so I have like a set of DPNs of all those sizes. I have this, which I think is like a 12-inch, and then I have a 24-inch. The 24-inch ones I almost never use, but I use the 12 inches all the time. I need to just buy a circular needle set that only does like a 12-inch circumference, because I love knitting hats and this is my preferred size of cord. Okay, so that's the Helix hat. Those are the new things. And next up is probably, well, I've shown it a lot. It's my Threshold sweater. I've made progress on it. I have the entire front and back done. So I did cast off. I've got my split hem, pretty pumped. I'm definitely gonna have to block that because it's kind of cinching in a bit. So you can kind of, it's like cinching in and flaring, which is kind of frustrating, but whatever. So yeah, and then I picked up for the sleeves. I will say I had trouble with picking up the sleeves. So I had knit what it said to, like, so with the I'm knitting the smallest size, which is a 34 inch bust circumference. And then I read a couple notes that said the armhole was a bit tight. So I ended up, I knitted as long as the next size up, which is 38 inch, but either way. So I knit the smallest size other than for the arm length. I knit the next size up. And so when I was picking up stitches, I was supposed to be able to pick up, gosh, I think is it 88 stitches? I can't remember. Whatever. I have the pattern right here. I can tell you. I don't think it's that big of a deal if I tell you the stitch count for the sleeves. I don't think. Yeah, so my size, I'm supposed to pick up 68, but with the size I chose, I'm supposed to pick up 72. I couldn't even pick up 68. I don't know what, but I had to like double pick up stitches, which was kind of frustrating because then I have to, really work at making sure my double picked up stitches is kind of in the same area on both sides so that you don't have, like puckering or something. I don't know if it even matters, but in my mind it would matter. So yeah, I think I tried picking up, or I had to do this 3 times to be able to get it relatively even, which was frustrating because I thought I knit the correct length, but clearly something's up with my gauge, which I tried to get on gauge. I guess I'm just a stupidly loose knitter. I don't know, but I picked them up and it's gonna be a slog because I don't have like, I don't have a 9-inch circular for this, or whatever I would need, a 12-inch maybe, because what size? This should be, I think, a size 3. Maybe I do have a size 3 9-inch. I'd have to look, but maybe I could do that. So yeah, pick that up. And my next concern, did I even tell you this is by Melanie Berg? I don't know, I've talked about the sweater so often that I'm forgetting, but right now, so here's the full sweater. My next concern is that I'm gonna run out of yarn, which is also frustrating. all I have left is 150 gram, and then this one that I've already started, I don't know how much is left in here, maybe 40, and then this one maybe 25. So I have a little over 100 grams left, and I need to knit the sleeves. I think it's gonna be close, pretty close. So I think what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna knit a little bit on this, maybe to the elbow, and then I'm going to pick up on the other side, knit to the elbow, and then just see how far I can go. I would prefer to have full length sleeves, but if I only get to about, 3/4, maybe here, then we'll call it a day. But the sleeves, so the sleeves look like this. Can you see that, or is that washing out? I don't know, it's hard to, okay, that's better. So the sleeves have the diamond detail and then the same style of ribbing as the top section has. And I think that's gonna look real dumb with shortened sleeves, especially with such a long ribbing. I think then it looks like I ran out of yarn. Even if I do it intentionally, I feel like it just looks like I ran out. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm kind of worried about. I could purchase more, but the dye lot, I did buy this 4 years ago. I don't even remember. I might have even podcasted about it. I really don't remember, but I bought this a while ago. This was when I still lived in my other apartment. Yeah, so this is what I have left. I need both full-length sleeves I need to get full-length sleeves out of this. Whoop, almost dropped it, but oh, I hope I can do it. If I can't, I will purchase one more skein and I will knit both the cuffs in it. And hopefully it's not too much of a clash of different colors. So that's my threshold sweater. Making pretty good progress. I'm excited for it, and I just dropped my yarn all the way over there and I'm not getting it. Gosh, I feel like my hair is just getting crazier and crazier. I had it in a bun today, and I have just had a headache, like, for several days now. I've had a headache, and I just thought maybe my hair being up is kind of aggravating it, which I think taking it down did help. It doesn't hurt as bad anymore. I don't know if any of you get headaches, but I feel like, so I've gotten headaches for honestly as long as I can remember. I was getting headaches when I was real little, and I still get them, but I feel like they're different now. When I was little, I remember, I could take medication and go to sleep, and then the next day I would be fine. But I got headaches a lot. Like, I just had more of them. Now, I don't get headaches as often, but they last so long. Like, I will have a head, like, again, this headache started on Wednesday, and it's still here. Like, it'll kind of dissipate and then it'll come back again. And like today, it's the strongest it has been between Wednesday and Thursday. Like, to the point where I was getting like, flashbacks of when I was younger, where I called it the point of no return. I would just start sweating profusely and then I would throw up, and just feel so out of it. Like, I would typically lay on the floor in my bathroom because the tile was cold and I was just sweating so much. I still, like, that happens very rarely now. I'd say maybe once or twice a year, but they last so long now. Oh gosh. Yeah, so cool. Again, this is we're all over the place on this podcast. And I feel like my crafting has been all over the place. Like, I started randomly those hats, I worked on my sweater, I worked a little bit on the shawls, not enough to really show you. And then I've also put in quite a lot into my next quest. Cross stitch! Oh, I'm such an old lady! Oh, so I got all of this colored in, or stitched in, and I got the hind legs, and then I got a little bit more of the squares done. So, yeah. I can't wait for this. Oh, and I got that leaf. I can't wait for this to be done. I have all this extra fabric because I don't like to center things. I like to just be economical. And what I want to do is either frame it or do something like what Priscilla and Chelsea do on their stitching podcast. Priscilla does amazing work with her cross stitch, and honestly that's inspired me to do more cross stitching because it doesn't look dowdy. I don't mean to sound insulting or anything, but sometimes when I look at cross stitching and I just think it just looks so dated, and it's hard to see that inside of my like my decor, my aesthetics. Even though I like it, I just don't know how to style it, finish it, whatever. But this guy, you probably can't even tell what this is going to be. This is going to be a cute little sheep, and it says wool. I don't think I didn't bring the pattern. This is what is this called? This is Louise or Louis. I'm never, I think it's Louise. Louise, Louis, Lois, and Henry by Little House Needleworks. So it's a sheep, it says wool, and then there's a crow on top of it. So yeah, and this fabric is Vintage Lakeside in pecan butter, and it's a 28 count, and I'm stitching it 2/2, I think is what it's called. Yes, 2/2, because it's 2 strands over two holes. I'm a professional cross stitcher. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so those are all the things that I've been working on. Sorry if it bugs you that I'm touching my hair a lot. It's just like, as I said, it's kind of crazy today. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Smaug's Trove. We do have an edition. We have 2 editions, but it's not knitting. It's cross stitch. I purchased this guy. Oh, isn't he cute? It's little piggies. Oh, look at that little one. He reminds me of the piggy from Moana because he's so little. Oh, it's so cute. I really like the pig has stripes. It just looks really cute. And I think it's gonna go well with the sheep that I'm making. So it's called Snort Stack by Plum Street Samplers. Original design by Paulette Stewart. And I did purchase one of the fancy flosses. So if you don't cross stitch, there is DMC, which is what you see at a lot of craft stores, and then they also have like over dyed threads. So it's kind of like, it's like hand dyed basically. So yeah, it costs a little bit more money, not nearly as much money as yarn costs, but significant. So I think, I don't know, is it like $2 or $3 or something? I don't really remember. It's just like, because cross stitch is just so much cheaper than knitting is, that I just don't even think about it. I'm like, yeah, I'll buy them. It's not a big deal. So yeah, I did purchase one just so that I can start it eventually. I have a lot of cross stitch patterns, and I've only finished 2, but one of them I cross stitched twice. So yeah, okay, that's one thing. And then the other thing that we're adding to Smaug's Trove is fabric. Yeah, so I purchased fabric from fabric.com because I would like to try and make, I think it's called the Brumby skirt. Volenvine, or Kristen, she posted a 3-part tutorial series on sewing that skirt, and it gave me the confidence to just go for it. So I went on fabric.com and I picked out a chambray, which is what she suggested to use. I did read the pattern information and it had listed chambray, so I picked one out. This is called Rose Feather. It's real pink. It's way more pink than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be just more gray, like gray wash of pink. It's okay. I'm going to use it, and I think it will be an interesting addition to my wardrobe because I don't wear pink. I don't wear pink. I think I could say I have one hot pink cardigan that I got in either college or high school. And it's either Hollister or Abercrombie. Like, it's old. I have that, and then I have a t-shirt from Cedar Point that says #Screamer, because I scream on roller coasters, like legit scream on roller coasters. It's just so much fun. I love being loud, and when you're on a roller coaster, it is like the one time it is socially acceptable to scream just so loud. I lose my voice every time I go to theme parks. Yeah, so this, like I said, it's chambray. It looks like stuff I could cross stitch on, to be honest. It's, I guess, drapey. I really don't know much about fabric. I don't sew, like, I'm trying to get knowledgeable in sewing. So yeah, fingers crossed this becomes a skirt this weekend. That's my plan this weekend, is sew, edit you, and play video games. Speaking of video games, Gears of War 5 came out, and that's what I'm going to play this weekend. Fingers crossed that I have time. Okay, so moving on to a novel idea. It is going to be a short segment because I've been doing a lot of crafting and I've been doing a lot of running. So not as much reading. I've read 2 books, both of which are not like novels. We're gonna go on this side. So the first one is called Bizarre Romance, and that is by Aubrey Niffenegger. She is the author of Time Traveler's Wife, and it's also by Eddie Campbell. I think he's the art illustrator, and I believe they're married. So, Bizarre Romance, it was a bizarre book. I'll give it that. I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it, but just some of the stories, I was like, this is just so weird. It's just not my style of book. It's a short story. It's short stories, but it's like mixed media. So there is some full, like, just text short story. There were some comic strip, and then just illustrated. So it was a large breadth of different styles of stories, and also the stories themselves were pretty different between all of them. So it was interesting. It was a quick read. I read most of it during a lunch break when I happened to buy that cross stitch. So yeah, not much to say about it because it is short stories. And then the second book that I finished, I do have it. It is this. This is a manga. It's called Sunny. It is volume 1. This, I picked it up randomly because I've just been in the mood to read manga, so I had just looked up what my library had, and they have maybe all of them. I don't know if the series is over, but they have so many of this series, so I thought maybe I'd just start this. I really liked this. Like, I would give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars if Goodreads allowed half, but they don't. So I just gave it the 4, but I really, really liked this. So it's Sunny by Taiyo Matsumoto, and it is about a bunch of kids in foster care. So it's not like explicit. It doesn't like tell you right away. You just get bits and pieces of it by people say, oh, it's the home, and then, oh, you're gonna go visit your mom, and then they come home or come back. It was just really different, and I liked a lot of the characters. So there was different chapters. Also, the art style is pretty interesting. So here's the front, and they're not old. I don't remember how old they are, but maybe like 12 or 13, so he should not be smoking. I don't think he actually smokes. I think he just has it. Also, he should not have a pistol. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, in this book, there's 6 chapters, and what's interesting about each of the chapters, it kind of revolved around one of the children. So all of the kids were in each of the chapters, but each chapter kind of had a focal point on one of them. So you got to learn a little bit more about their personalities, and I just really liked it, and I'm looking forward to reading the second one. I need to put it on hold at the library. Manga is like one of the main things I put on hold because I don't know if this is the same at your libraries, but it's the same at like the Dayton library and my hometown library. They'll have the whole series of a manga, but they won't keep them together. Like 3 of the series will be at one branch, and then a couple will be at a different branch, and like that's their home. Why do you do that? Just keep all of them at the same library. So yeah, this is manga I tend to have to put on hold because it's never there. It's never there. It's always at a different one. Okay, so yeah, that's an awful idea. I have not really read a ton. I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I've been very into the podcasts. I've not felt a single desire to listen to an audiobook. Confession time. I still have not finished Daisy Jones and the Six. I would like to finish it on audio, but again, I just haven't had any desire to listen to an audiobook. So, I don't know. I'm kind of stuck there. I'm loving just straight reading, but not audio. Okay, so that brings us to what I've been doing with my life. I've been all over the place, like with my crafting. So I've dabbled in a ton of stuff. I did some sewing. I will show you one of the things that I finished because the other thing is a gift. So I had made my mom a project bag or a couple project bags last year, and so I have some of the fabric left over. So I figured I would just make one for myself. I measure things, but I find that I'm not very good at guessing or figuring out what the dimensions should be. So, you know, my bottom fabric is real tiny, but that's okay. I used a fat quarter for the inside. I think honestly that's my problem. I keep wanting to use fat quarters, like more of them, but fat quarters are a weird shape, so my project bags end up being tall instead of wider. So they get taller, but not wider. But this one I think ended up being a pretty good size. My only issue, of course, is the bottom being real small. But yeah, it's got a box bottom. I didn't, so this side is pretty good, but this side is a lot worse, but it's still not terrible. I think I did a really good job with the zipper because the zipper, or I should say the color, the zipper color matches fairly well with the pattern. I do need to put a zipper pull on here. I'm thinking, I have some leftover beads from the one that I did for my mom, but maybe I can get a bird or a birdhouse and put that there. That would be cool. Or holly. Something Christmassy. So yeah, I made a project bag for myself. Yeah, I really like it. And I think it did turn out really cute. Plus, this fabric is just really adorable. I really like it. What else? I had some nice weekends. I went to Columbus to hang out with one of my friends. So we went to an independent bookstore, which I really love going to independent bookstores. I don't mind spending full price on a book. Doesn't bother me one bit, as long as I'm supporting, a local business. So I bought 2 books there, and then we went to, I think we went to Brewdog, and then we also went to this wine dispensary, which was really cool. You loaded up a card, and then there was wine everywhere. You stuck the card in, and then you picked your pour for the wine. So it just, to me, it was such like a millennial thing because you did not have to talk to anyone. You paid for your card, and then you did not have to address anyone. You just got whatever wine you wanted, and then you could sit down and talk to your friend and then get up and go get more wine. It was really cool. I really appreciated being able to try a bunch of wine, though I will say I prefer Moscato. I'm a really, really, really sweet wine person, and there was no Moscato there. So for me, there was a lot more drier wines than sweet wines. So I ended up not using all of mine because I was at the point where I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna actually like any of the other ones. I could have started looking at the reds, but I there's not a lot of sweet reds out there because even though they say it's a sweet red, like it's still not sweet enough. I just basically just want to drink grape juice. Okay. So yeah, sewing, Columbus. Oh, and then I went to the popcorn festival. So there's a popcorn festival in Beaver Creek. I've wanted to go for years. Literally since I moved here, I've wanted to go to this popcorn festival. I love popcorn. So we went. There wasn't as much popcorn as I thought there would be, but it was still pretty cool. We did that. And then I went to the same friend who I visited in Columbus. He was in a band called Eleanor and the Elephant, and it was their last show because he has since moved away. And so went to the show. It was really lovely because it's at a winery, so we had wine. But yeah, other than that, I've just been running a lot. I am so ready to be done training for this half marathon. Yet I also want to run a marathon. Like, I think I only want to run the marathon once. Like, one time to say that I have done it, that I have run a marathon. But training for this half marathon, and I know I started a lot earlier, but that's just because I'm not a fast runner. Like, I'm so slow for someone who actively runs. I'm just not fast. My legs hurt, my feet hurt, my lungs hurt, everything hurts when I'm running. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of running. I actually have to run 11 miles this Sunday, which I am uber looking forward to. Yep, that's gonna be 3 hours of my day spent running. I mean, not all of the 3 hours, but it's going to be 3 hours of stretching, running, post-stretching. It's going to be a 3-hour activity, plus the drive for wherever I go. Because when I run that long, I like to go somewhere, because then it forces me to actually run you know, to work out the full amount. If I run like in the neighborhood, then I'm so much more likely to just, you know, 8 hours, let's call it a day. I'm tired, and then go home. So if I drive somewhere, then in my mind I'm like, nope, you have to do this because you've wasted the gas to get here. So yeah, my half marathon is October 20th, so we have still over a month to go of training. Gosh, if I follow my training plan and I actually run every single time from now on, I have skipped some, but if I do every single run, I will have run by October 20th. I will have run almost 400 miles this year, which is crazy because last year I tried to make the goal of 500 and I did not come, like I didn't even hit the halfway mark. So this year has been more running than I think I've ever done, which is saying something because I was in a running club a couple years ago where we did run a lot, but this is the first time I actually ever trained for a half marathon with this much running. Okay, yeah. If you care, the training program that I'm doing is through Runkeeper. Runkeeper is like my favorite running app. I love that. And I actually pay for the premium because I also really like the features, and one of the features is it creates training programs for you. And so you can like say what your goal time is and what your average time is now and how much you work out and when you plan to work out, and then it builds a program. Oh, and you can say, you know, when you want to start. So like I didn't have to pick a 10-week plan or a 12-week plan. Like I said, I want to start today. So my training program has been 4 months, I think it's been a 4-month long training program. Yeah, it's been really long. I'm ready to be done. It just takes up so much time. It's not that I'm tired, it's just that like last Sunday I just didn't feel myself. We can put it at that. So I got up and I'm just thinking, you need to run, you need to just do it, go do it. So then I did run and I came home and then I laid back in bed again. That's literally all I did was I just went and worked out and then I just laid in bed for the rest of the day. So it's like some of these days you don't accomplish anything, but that's beside the point. I'm making it sound depressing. Yeah, I also, like I said, want to try to do a marathon at some point. I was looking at the Boston Marathon times that you have to get. Oh my god. These people run so fast. So my goal for my half marathon is to beat my other half marathon times, which is I think my first ever half marathon that I ever did. I think I came in at like 3 hours and 15 minutes or something, or it was over 3 hours. And then the second half marathon I did, I was under 3 hours by 5 seconds, 10 seconds. It was like right there. My goal is to be under 3 hours. I would love to beat the last one I did, but I want to get under it. And yeah, so that's slow. I know it's slow. It's okay for me though, because that's my goal. And you know, when you run, you're only competing against yourself. So my half marathon is about 3 hours, let's just say. The qualifying time for the Boston Marathon, which is double a half marathon, is 3.5 hours. What? I will never be able to do that. I will never be able to do that. I've been like consistently running now for 5 years. And I'm still like, oh, maybe I can get my half marathon under 3 hours. You kidding me? Oh my gosh. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy. I don't, maybe if you don't run, you don't actually like realize how fast they're running, but yeah, that's insanely fast. So, yep. Crazy, 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 crazy. Okay, well, I've been blabbering on enough, and my soccer team just started, the Portland Thorns. They just did their kickoff, so we're gonna end it so that I can watch soccer and do this little dance. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. All the social media stuff, I should like make some sort of banner for all of this, but if you would like to follow me on any of the social media platforms, we are a Traveling Knitter podcast on Instagram. You gotta stick that podcast word there. We do have a group on Ravelry. Not a lot of activity going on there. It's okay. But the group is called A Traveling Knitter. Funny how they all are the same. If you would like to follow me, add me as a friend on Goodreads. My Goodreads is /Lulu is crazy. I feel like Goodreads is kind of hard to find people on there, unless you're like friends on Facebook. Like, as soon as you're friends on Facebook, it is so much easier to find people, but we're not going to be Facebook friends. Putting that out there now. Are there any other social media things? Goodreads, Instagram, podcast group. I think that's it. All right. I will see you guys later. Bye.